Today we're making meatloaf sandwiches, the perfect way to reuse leftover meatloaf. And a quick funny story, I had meatloaf growing up my whole life, but I never actually thought to put it on a sandwich or to use the leftovers on a sandwich. That is until I read the novel Pet Sematary by Stephen King, which is sort of the inspiration for this video, but we'll get back to that a little later on. For now, we'll start by making the meatloaf. I got about 2 pounds of meat here, and this is a mix of pork, veal, and beef. Grab yourself a large bowl to mix everything in. Add your meat to your bowl, naturally. To our meat, we're going to crack in 2 large eggs. We're also going to add in 1 packet of onion soup mix, and no, it doesn't have to be this brown. We're going to crush in 3 cloves of garlic. Time to throw in some seasonings. I'm keeping it rather simple: kosher salt, cracked black pepper, and some paprika. And the description will have the full amounts of all of these seasonings. Full amounts for everything, actually. Basically, what I'm trying to say is check the description for the recipe. It'll have the full ingredients and amounts. Next, we're going to grab some parsley that's been washed and dried. We're going to chop that up, and we're going to add about 1/4 cup of that parsley right to our meatloaf. Then we're going to add some cheese. I got Pecorino Romano. You could do that, or you could do Parmesan. And I'm going to grate that right into our meatloaf mix. If you do want to measure, you want about 1/4 cup. Then we're adding our breadcrumbs. I like to do an even amount of panko breadcrumbs and seasoned breadcrumbs. Here I have 1/2 cup of both, followed by 1/2 cup of milk, a few shakes of hot sauce, which makes everything nice. Then we got the Worcestershire sauce. We're adding 2 tablespoons of that. Then we got the dirty work. That's right, we're going to go in there with our hands and mix it up. That's the best way to use your hands. And no, I don't have any gloves. But if I did, I would probably wear them because I don't like the way the meat feels between my hands. But if you're making this for yourself like I am, you really don't need to wear the gloves. This is my house, not a restaurant. Once your meat mixed is all mixed, we're going to grab a loaf pan, which we are going to generously coat with some sort of non-stick spray. Here I got avocado spray. Pack all of your meat into your loaf pan. Invert your loaf pan onto an ungreased baking tray. A little wiggle and it should come right up. Then we are going to place our meat brick into a preheated 350-degree oven for about 15 minutes, and you'll see why. While our meatloaf is in the oven for the first 15 minutes, we're going to make a quick little sauce to go on top. To a bowl, we're adding 1/3 cup of ketchup, 2 tablespoons of yellow mustard, a dash of hot sauce for a little kick, about a teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce, 2 teaspoons of brown sugar for a little bit of sweetness, and this is going to help that sauce caramelize also. Go ahead and mix that up until everything is nice and smooth. Our meatloaf has been in the oven for 15 minutes. We're going to take it out, brush it down with our sauce, and then put it back in for another 15 minutes. And repeat those steps 3 more times until our meatloaf has been in the oven for a total of 1 hour, and it is at a safe to eat 165-degree temperature internally. Now, once your meatloaf comes out of the oven for its final time, let this rest for about 10 to 15 minutes before slicing into it. Then when you're ready, carefully transfer it to a cutting board to slice it up. Now I'm going to do kind of thick slices because I'm going to make a sandwich and I want some nice juicy thick slices. Then transfer your sliced meatloaf to a serving dish where you can garnish with some more fresh parsley. And that's it for our meatloaf. Now let's move on to the star of today's show, our meatloaf sandwich, which brings us back to Pet Sematary. Now if I may quote a passage from the book real quick. There was some leftover meatloaf in the refrigerator. Lewis cut it into slabs, put them on a slice of Roman meal bread, and added 2 thick rounds of Bermuda onion. He contemplated this for a moment before dousing it with ketchup and slamming down another slice of bread. Now I am going to deviate from this a little bit. I'm not using the Roman meal bread, which from what I understand is sort of a wheat bread. I'm going to use potato bread, toasted, with a little mayo on it. I'm going with red onion slices and tomato slices, seasoned with salt and pepper, some thick slabs of our meatloaf, and end piece, which is the best piece when it comes to meatloaf. And of course, I'm dousing the whole thing in ketchup. I'm slamming down another slice of bread. Cut that thing in half. Diagonal is the only way. Reveal the cross section. Oh, and I did the same thing again, but this time I used a hard roll. And let me tell you, these meatloaf sandwiches were so good. You know, I knew an excellent burger could be good, but I had no idea a meatloaf sandwich could be this good. And let me tell you, both of these sandwiches I devoured. I pounded them down. But unfortunately, that's where today's video ends. So be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share this video with a friend, and I'll see you in the next video. And I'll leave you with the words of a wise man.
That meatloaf is insane. That's the best meatloaf I ever made. That's the best meatloaf recipe I ever made.